Today we're going to be doing the differences between a Supersport and a beginner bike. And I want to help you, I want to see if you really do need a Supersport, if it's the right choice for you. So, let us get started. Okay, Jesus, it flicks silly. It's so silly. Alright. you can't like crash that anymore. It doesn't make any sense. Oh shit. So if you have one of these bikes, you can dick around with it pretty, oh, it's super dirty. You can dick around with it pretty well. It's super playful, it's so light, it's so easy, it's so friendly. I think that's one of the biggest advantages to a bike like this. Jesus, man. It is serious as shit. Yeah, it's a whole other ball game. It's a whole other fucking ball game. Fan-fucking-tastic. Jesus Christ, it's so good. Man, dude, it's so comfortable. It's just like a very standard position of a motorcycle. You cannot get tired of riding this, dude. It's just so easy to ride. So comfortable. You just cruise around on it. It's really great. This thing is, oh, it's so much more aggressive. It's a lot taller. I think it's got about 3 inches on the rear, on the seat height. It's real hunkered down. It's real leaned in. It's what I want out of a bike. Alright, so power. If you're just cruising around town, man, this has more than enough power. This really does. It does 0 to 60, I think, in like 5 seconds flat, so that's really not too bad, or 5.5, something like that. For like daily driving and commuting around town, it's really, really, really not bad at all. Alright, we'll do a little pull right here. Still a really good, it pulls really nicely for a machine. I don't know, for motorcycle standards, and now I understand what people used to say about it. We're like, it's a quick machine, but it's not a fast motorcycle at all. The power difference is brutal. I think this thing has, what, like 3 times the power of the R3? I don't know, like double the torque, maybe triple the torque too. It's crazy. Like, the R3 doesn't feel scary at all after a while. Like, this shit still scares me sometimes. So yeah, dude, you can live with this bike so easily. It's such a livable machine. It's got great gas mileage. If you're using it to just get around town, it looks really great. People think it's like a much more sophisticated, expensive machine than it actually is. I really wouldn't feel bad about owning it. And I didn't when I had it. I feel fucking invincible in traffic with this bike, though. It's just so maneuverable. It's so fucking maneuverable. Even moving it, man, it's so light. Just scoot it back on. Scoot it back up in there. The thing is, if you're looking for something livable, if you're looking for something you can use every day, it depends on your tolerance for the Daytona, for Supersports in general, from what I've understood. You have to just understand that you're going to compromise. It's just by its very nature, you have to compromise. It's a performance machine. Every Supersport is a performance machine. I chose one that's just a little more aggressive than usual. From what I've understood, I haven't sat on any other Supersports. From what I've understood, the Daytona is one of the more aggressive packages available. But I think all of them are pretty aggressive. That's the trade-off, really. You just have to know that that's what you're getting into. Let's talk about the suspension for a sec. If you've never ridden anything before, you'll feel like this does the job fine. You're like, oh, it does okay. Like, it's maybe a little bouncy, but, you know, it does the job pretty well. But once you've tried something with a little more sophisticated suspension, it becomes really clear how it's like, fucking hell, dude, this bike could use some better suspension. But that's okay. I mean, that's not what it's for. It's not for cracking race times or having... It's built on a price. It's built on a budget, so that makes sense. If you're a keen rider, you're going to notice the difference in suspension immediately. This thing is so much more capable. It's so much more refined. The adjustments are basically so tailor-made to be a performance-oriented bike. There's no comparison in the suspension department. You don't get tired riding it at all. Hop on it, you have so much fun. It's such a little sweetheart though, look at it. Oh man, look at it, dude. You can have a lot of fun with this, honestly. Man, it's just a little toy though, dude. It seriously just feels like a little toy. It feels bad to say that, I mean, but it's not a bad thing about the bike. It just feels so toy-like. You trade off that comfort and that funness for performance and craziness and just brute force and precision, but you lose that fun factor. You lose the reliability. You lose the fun of it, you know? You don't lose the fun of it. This is still really fun. It's challenging too. Yeah, it's not easy to ride it. It's much more difficult to ride, and I think by that very reason it's enjoyable because you get to do more with it. You get to experience more of it. And God, it's gorgeous. There's something about the bigger bike that's like it's a life of excess. It's something that we all aspire to, just because it's the American dream almost, where it's like it's overkill and it's more than anyone needs. But at the same time, you don't just buy the bigger bike for its power and its looks and its prestige and whatever else and its perceived social value. You buy it for yourself. You buy it because you want better suspension. You want a more planted feel. Maybe you're tired of ringing out a little bike on the highway. Maybe you just want something more. Final verdict: if you're kind of riding around town, if you're just enjoying yourself, and if performance riding isn't the top of your list, I would really recommend shying away from the Supersport. It doesn't make too much sense to get one. These are track ready weapons basically. There's really no reason. I mean, honestly, there's no reason to ride them on the road. But hey, what's a life without a little excess, you know? You're gonna live your whole life riding a 320cc bike and not experience something like this? That's a little silly. There's something to be said about that, just the playful nature of a motorcycle. The Daytona, I love that bike, I do, and I would never give it up for anything. And I think it's the perfect bike for me. But it does feel incredibly serious every time I'm on it. And there's something about this bike, and maybe that's why people are so attracted to the Grom and stuff like that, because there's something about a playful little bike that just feels fun, because you don't feel like you have to. It doesn't feel like a challenge, you know. You just ride, you just have a good time. You don't feel stressed. You can really cruise around a bike like this, is what I'm saying. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching. You can follow me on Instagram, Yammie_noob. Put the tag right there on the screen for you. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time. I've been thinking about you all day long.